Hello, hello, hello there, everyone. Alex here with Lucksack Games, here to bring you the second half of, well, this is a Tron deck, but the second half of the Bonecrusher Zoo League. Let's go ahead and get into this. We are currently 1-1 in the league. Unfortunately, life happens, and it's a little bit of time between the last time we played our match and this time. But hopefully, hopefully that doesn't matter. Just a second. Okay. Hey, we found an opponent in 2 seconds. I stood up. Hey, opponent. Be prepared to meet the Bonecrusher. Alright, we're against H. Gondillion. See what they're playing. Hopefully, hopefully something that we can get some creature damage in early and finish it out with some burn. That's our, kind of our game plan. Let's see here. Well then. Yeah, this hand's definitely a keep. Sky hands are keeping with this deck. I think we lead off on the Kitty Cat into Pride Mage and attack for 4 on turn 2. So it looks like it could be Storm, which isn't an excellent matchup, but we do have Helixes to interact with their Monodorks. So let's see what they are doing. Yep, Spirebluff Canal. Brawl. That is a Brawl Chief of Compliance. Alright, well, I'd really just prefer that we didn't have to deal with a Brawl. We're going to go ahead and fetch up Temple Garden. Play a Hex Drinker. And Bolt the Brawl. Alright, get in there for 3. And then pass to our next turn. We also have Helix up next turn if they go for another Storm creature. Mono creature, sorry. They are on Storm. These Deafening Silences in the sideboard looking pretty good. Matter of fact, let's take a little peek at our sideboard. Rest in Peace and Deafening Silence, both good. Cindervines is great. And Galactique is serviceable. Alright, let's go. So we're not attacking with just one creature anyways. I think here we fetch this. Cast another Hex Drinker. They might have a Remand. Alright. We're just going to get in there for 5, and then we're going to pass the turn. They're probably going to Gifts end of turn, I would assume. Alright, Repeal on our cat is pretty good too. So they can just kill us on their next turn. I don't think we're supposed to play scared here. I think we have to commit more threats to the board. Alright, let's see if they kill us this turn. It is very possible. They did just run out their Brawl on 2. If they have another creature plus a couple rituals, they can absolutely kill us here. My read is that Repeal was just them trying to buy a few turns, though, so I wanted to get this cat right back down. Could die here. Let's find out that we are. This is just a 4-mana Gifts that I think we're pretty fine with that. Peer Through Depths, I guess it's Splicing a Desperate Ritual probably, because there's 4. Splicing, Desperate Ritual, grabbing Grape Shot. That's fine. They might kill both our Hex Drinkers here. Manamorphose. Oh, I wonder if they have the natural Storm kill. That'd be a little awkward, wouldn't it? Looks like that's what they're doing now. opting here. I might just be Grape Shot to clear our board as well. It definitely looks like Grape Shot just to clear our board. Which means now we want to draw a land, because then we get to go Bloodbraid into something else depending on what the wheel shows. Land. Yes. Alright, we have a basic Plains to grab. Let's cast our Bloodbraid out. Cascading into Path to Exile. While normally good in this matchup, not the card we want to hit off the Cascade. We got our opponent down to 12, that's not terrible. They're 4 attacks away from dead. 3 plus a Helix. Next turn we get to, and this is why I fetched the basic Plains. Play Qasali Pride Mage and hold up Helix. So get in there for 4, makes it a 3-turn clock. I wonder if the opponent's just considering killing Bloodbraid here. So they can go Ritual Grape Shot, kill Bloodbraid, but that doesn't get them very far. You'll also know that that's why we have been kind of conservative on the fetches, even though we're definitely the beatdown, is because we might find ourselves in a situation like last turn, where if the opponent had Remand and maybe another mana, they could have just killed us that turn. So we're a little bit higher on health total, and that feels like where we want to be. It feels like they're in a little bit rough position to kill us while they're at 3 cards in hand. Alright, let's play out this Pride Mage. Curious to see if they either unsummon Bloodbraid in response or remand this. If they remand this, I'm probably just getting in for 3. Alright. Let's get in there for 4. And they're on a 3-turn clock. Solid Pride Mage may not be doing too much as far as interaction in this matchup, but definitely doing something as far as helping with the clock. I actually think we just hold this forest to try and represent a second spell. There's no enchantments in their deck that I could be sacking Qasali Pride Mage for. So I'm definitely not losing value by not having that option open. Also, it requires a target, so even if I was trying to fizzle something, I can't activate my Qasali Pride. Alright, did just take 2 and go to 6. Yep. If the opponent uses Shivering Reef, they're dead to our attack. Desperate Ritual. Past Influence. Yep. So, unfortunately, I am not nearly as good of a... Oh. I bet this is, once again, just Grape Shot to clear our board. I mean, opponent's going to cast a couple cantrips here. They might get there. I don't think that changes anything at this point, so we're just going to let that happen. And I think we're just trying to draw into Bolt off the top. Because Bolt or Helix off the top both kill our opponent. Because they will be completely tapped out since they had to shock in order to do this turn. 8 spells cast before it this turn. Okay. Also, chance it was supposed to remove the Electromancer at this point. Not because they have anything really in their graveyard they can use, because they don't. But more because it's a clock on us. So they put 2 damage on the Pride Mate, I'm sure. Yeah, last one targets. I think I'm actually just gonna go face here. Put some to 3. Ah, unfortunate. Alright, we are gonna play this one tapped, we're gonna pass the turn. So opponent can go past in flames and cast a few cantrips if they want. But as of this moment, we're not dead. That looks like gifts ungiven. We're dead. Wait, does the opponent have... Opponent has to have another grape shot, so that's unfortunate. Their top deck was gifts ungiven. Fast and flames in a pile of rituals. Alright. Cards put in their graveyard. Yeah. So we are just yielding this turn currently. And I'm pretty sure we're dead. Like, as long as they are not only running one grape shot in their list, we are dead. But, yeah, like I said, maybe we should have pointed at the Electromancer. After we die, I'm going to take the draw and see if we get 3 more draws. If so, then maybe we should have taken that line instead. But I think they were so close to the point where they can just naturally storm us that it didn't matter. If it's just goblins, we'll absolutely 100% take a draw step at getting another bolt. That's actually why we're sitting here, is because we don't know for a fact that they have a grape shot in their deck. Alright. So, opponent's currently looking through the library for an awful long time for someone that has this deterministically dead. And has the grape shot anyways. Yes, we are dead, opponent. Alright, so, like I said, Storm, bad matchup. So, Bonecrushers are cool, but they don't, unfortunately, do what we need. Galactique, Cindervine, Chokework. I feel like Choke is not worth it. I think those are what to take out. I don't like these Quasali Primages since they just don't run enchantments. And let's send it back like that. This magic feels like it definitely improves post board. 100%. So... Alright, we would like to be on the play. It's going to be a good start as well. Alright, we're going to keep this hand. Even though it is a one-lander. We are hoping to obviously rip the land off the top. So we're going to fetch Stomping Ground here, and then cast Noble Hierarch. And it won't die on 1. Do wish we had Deafening Silence or Rest in Peace, but we shrug our shoulders. Our hand is very reasonable. If we draw a land, we get to play a Hex Drinker and a Voice of Resurgence on 2, which is kind of the clock we're trying to present. I assume our opponent's mulliganing. Possible we should have taken a mole to see if we could hit some sideboard cards, but traditionally speaking, Echoing Truth and Wipe Away and cards of that nature are very reasonable as far as to bring in the dark. Alright, they did take a mole to 6, which would answer all of our hate since it's all permanent based disruption. So we already talked about our whole turn, so we're going to take our game actions we previously discussed and pass the turn. Opponent will likely just pass the turn back. Curious if they bolt the bird. See, situations like this are why they say bolt the bird, and it's correct. We're hoping they just go like an opt or a sleight of hand or a serum visions or one of their 12 cantrips, and then just pass the turn. That island does not bolt our bird. Sweet. Alright, let's see if we can draw a land ourselves. So freaking lucky. Alright, let's Temple Garden here. Put a Hex Drinker on the board. They could have the turn 2 kill. For those of you that don't know, Storm does in fact have a turn 2 kill. It involves Ritual into Manamorphose, into your Monodork, into another Ritual, into another Manamorphose, into Gifts Ungiven. But it's still possible. It basically requires the perfect 8 cards, which our opponent now has access to 8 cards. Yeah. Let's see what they do. Looks like just a Brawl and a pass. I'm pretty good with a Brawl and a pass. So, as much as I don't want to use this Path to Exile to accelerate them, this Lightning Helix being Reach means that I do think I just want to path them now. And then I'm actually just going to level this up 3 times. Then the next turn I can level it up again, and I think it's 4 that's protection. I can't look currently because I have a spell on the stack, but I'll take a peek at it in a moment. This is actually my first time playing with Hex Drinker as well. Once again, the reason why we pathed like that is we didn't want to get remanded into dead. Oh, it's still searching. Possible they're also playing out their next turn in their head. The good news also about Voice of Resurgence is it's not... actually, I'm going to leave up Bolt. Is that true? Yes. Yeah. If we draw a land, we could have got Hex Drinker up to level 8, but I don't think that's the correct play. I think this is fine. I think if they go to put a Ritual on the stack, we will bolt this thing in response. For those of you that don't know, Manamorphose is in fact a Ritual. Okay, regular Ritual in response makes sense. Let's see if they can just go off. That is an incredibly good spot for us to be in. Alright, so this is going to gain protection from instants. What just happened there? Alright, weird. Alright, so hit them and then pass the turn. So we have this Helix up as interaction. And if we don't have to kill one of their creatures, which it looks like we might not have to, we get to Helix them end of turn and then just Hex Drinker is lethal. Sweet. Got there with our Bolt. Anything I want to change for game 3? I don't think we want Worship. That thing's 4 mana. We'd have to tap out to interact with our opponent, and I don't feel that's where you want to be in Storm. So the opponent's obviously going to be on the play game 3. Well, this hand would be great if it had lands. I mean, look, it has 3 Bloodbraid Elves in it. This hand would be great if it could cast our spells. How many basics in this deck? Alright. I'm going to keep this. We have only the most basic amount of interaction. Actually, I'm going to put back the forest because I'm going to fetch a duel. So not looking the best for us at the moment, but we could always just wheel into something absolutely backbreaking, like a Rest in Peace or a Deafening Silence. Could also just rip a Deafening Silence, which I think I'd play a Deafening Silence on one over playing a Noble Hire. Opponent, if they have the bounce spell, obviously can still just play Brawl on their turn, bounce it on our turn, and then kill us on their next. But I still feel it's the correct play. If we draw it, of course. Currently, our play is play a Noble Hierarch and then pass the turn. I don't think it was correct to keep the 4th land to guarantee this Bloodbraid Elf either, because realistically, we want to draw 1 more land in this game, and that's it. But really tanking on this Serum Visions. Possible why they conceded before they were actually dead that game is because they needed the time to consider their choices for game 3. Alright. Our draw is a fetch land. Alright, so there's that Monosaurus I was talking about for Bloodbraid Elf. Play Noble Hierarch and pass the turn. So the reason why Cindervines is a little bit better in this deck than it normally is because we're also pressuring Storm's life total. So whereas normally they can just cast like 8 spells into the Cindervines and then Grape Shot, Remand, Grape Shot. If they cast 8 spells into a Cindervines against us, there's a good chance we can just kill them. Excuse me all. Alright, let's see if the opponent runs out the Brawl. Wow, a game that they actually didn't run out the Brawl. Alright, so we're just going to get in there for 1 and fetch a tap land and a turn. I'm tanking if there's merit since we unfortunately drew 2 lands. Like I said, we only wanted to draw 1 more. Of playing Bloodbraid on 5 and holding up Bolt for their Mono Dork. We'll see. We will see. Good news is if they have Bolt or Unsubstantiate, we do get, or Unsubstantiate or Remand, we can Bolt again on our turn and it should tap them out. Opt, yeah, that's fine. Once again, why Deafening Silence would have been great is it looks like they're about to just double opt on us. Because if they don't have double opt, they should have just opted on their turn in case they hit another cantrip. Okay. So opponent just cantripping. This is why Deafening Silence is so good against them. Even though they've only cast 1 spell a turn so far. Alright, let's go ahead and fetch our tap land. I think I want Sacred Foundry because I want maximum red sources this game. And I already have a forest in hand. Do you know why that was a great draw? Because that allows us to hold it Bolt this turn and hold it Bolt next turn. So let's go ahead and white, green, voice. If they remand this, we're just going to go to combat and get in for 1. Okay. Well, now they won't be remanding anymore on our turn unless they kill us in the next turn. So I'm sure the opponent has the easy read of us having the Bolt in the hand. We haven't tapped down this red source since the game started. But it is what it is. Ideally, if they have to go Ritual, Manamorphose, Gibson Given, it literally puts lethal on our side of the board. So if they can't kill us on their next turn, we do get to just bolt their dude and kill them. Alright, looks like they could not take that line. Sure. Unfortunately, with the opponent drawing so many cards here and us having such light amounts of pressure, they are going to be able to assemble a hand that's going to be our very light piece of interaction. Yeah. So actually, that cutting us off a land is a little bit awkward. Since we have Rest in Peace and Deafening Silence we can hit into here, and I want to keep them on a clock, I'm actually tapping out here. That's 6 cards. We could hit Galactiques as well. Opponent taking on our fetch. Alright. Bloodbraid. See what we get. Spin the Bloodbraid wheel. This time we hit Lightning Helix. Not great. Not great at all. I guess it's not miserable because now we have them dead next turn, but they probably have us dead on their turn. Alright, kill this opponent. We have 5 power in play and 2 bolts. Should have fetched Shocked there, by the way. That way I could play one of these bolts through a remand. Oops. Here's Brawl. See if they go. Hopefully this is Brawl Pass. Oh my god, it is Brawl Pass. Alright, so I'm just going to... So I'm going to attack with both creatures, but I think I'm going to still bolt this Brawl before it blocks. It's still getting in for 2 and then it removes the Brawl. Bolt off the worst land. They take 5. Alright. Maybe I should have let them try to no blocks there and just killed them. Definitely a consideration. Looks like they would have done no blocks. So actually why I went to combat originally. Looks like an Electromancer. A Braid on Bloodbraid. That's fine. That looks like a desperate attempt to stay alive. Yep. Alright. Yay! Looks like we may have wrapped this one up against Storm. Alright. Hierarch's great. Doesn't really change anything. We're still getting in there for 3. But now, in their eyes, they died a Bonecrusher Giant. Which is no longer in our deck, unfortunately. Alright, let's get in there. Alright, so I'm pretty sure Storm doesn't have any hard counters. I believe their counter spells are Remand and Unsubstantiate, so if they take this hit, we can just bolt them twice and they'll die. Good chance we also should have played out this Temple Garden, that means, because their opponent's less likely to play around it being our last card in hand. It looks like they didn't play around it anyways, so let's just kill them during damage. Yep, won a match. Alright, we're 2-1 going into match 3 with Bonecrusher Zoo. A little unfortunate we had to sideboard out the Bonecrushers there, but hey, they don't do too much against Storm. They only kill Electromancer. And as you saw, every game they had Brawl. I'm going to eat a piece of candy real quick, so I'm going to go ahead and mute the mic. Alright, let's finish this candy and get back to magic. Lost the die roll. Not how you want to be playing modern normally, but see how it goes. Oops, sorry about that. Why do you keep doing that? Alright, let's see. This hand looks pretty good. This looks like Hierarch on 2. Ooh, let's see what they reveal to their Once Upon a Time. A Tarmogoyf. Oh, it's Once Upon a Time Death Shadow, I bet. We're about to get Thought Seized. I actually don't know how the Death Shadow matchup works for us. Inquisition, whatever. Probably taking our Hierarchy or Path here. Be shocked if it took the kitty cat. So opponent has 3 card types in their graveyard currently, so Tarmogoyf, yeah. Took Path to Exile. Is big enough that bolts won't kill it. I'm going to go ahead and lead on Temple Garden. I still think it's noble, but it doesn't feel nearly as good. Good news is whatever we play is likely getting pushed off a cliff regardless. Maybe the opponent doesn't have a second land. What do you have, opponent? I'm very curious, Mr. Wu-Tang08. Uh-oh, this is another Thought Seize, isn't it? Reconsidering. Might be Fatal Push as well, and they're reconsidering whether or not. Yeah. So. This is my main screen. I'm not sure why it keeps notifying me every time an opponent takes a game action, having to pop up, but hey, it is. See if this is another Thought Seize. That one's the push. Okay. Bloodbraid Elf ain't bad. Let's go ahead and play a Voice of Resurgence out here. Green. And we'll play... which cat are we playing next turn? We have 2 cats. Here's the Goyf. Yep. This mana base. A little rough at times. Why I say that? I cannot currently cast Solid Primates plus Nakano. I still think it's Pride Mage. So let's get it on the battlefield. And then we'll pass the turn. If they attack us with Goof, we get to get back in. If we draw a land for quite a bit. For 7. Death Shadow does tend to be a little bit suicidal with their life total. Get it on. Not Dead Teamer Battle Rage. It's a good feeling against Death Shadow. Looks like they may have relied upon that Once Upon a Time to get them a threat. Yeah. So it looks like they're doing it again. So we already know about the Tarmogoyf and they've already played it. What's their next threat? I guess the good news is they don't have a land for it. We hope to draw a land. One thing I will say for us is we have drawn a land literally every time we've wanted to this league. I think just Forest is fine here. Let's see if we can hit like a Path to Exile, I guess. Another Pride Mage, huh? Well, that doesn't do much other than give us a blocker. I guess that's fine. Alright, let's get in there with everyone. Pass the turn. This shadow is an 8/8. We currently cannot attack for lethal, but if they use the Nurturing Peatland, we can. Let's see what we get here. I think putting them off their land, even if it puts the thing up to being an 11 power creature, is good because then we kind of turn them off Team or Battle Rage because they need a land that doesn't hurt them. And then we just put 2 threats back on the board and have lethal again through a 3rd threat. So I think this is the right line. Sorry, I should talk a little bit more about the lines before I start making them. Like the only spell my opponent could cast here would be like a Fatal Push. If they cast that, then Voice will trigger. Oh my god, they are. Yeah, Voice Resurgence has a lot of text on it, that's for sure. This also might mean that we are just dead on their turn. They have Team or Battle Rage and wanted to leave it up. Unfortunately, this is one of those games where just dead to Team or Battle Rage. I don't think they would have made that play if they didn't have the Battle Rage, because what that does is it leaves their Nurturing Peatland alive. Although they could have also been leaving themselves live to the line of drawing it, at which point, no, they're going to combat. Alright, well, let's assign our blocks. Yep. They may have also just drawn another creature. Yeah, I think these are our blocks. I guess it could also be here. Yeah. Can kill both because it can deal 3 damage and 1 damage and that. Nope. Alright, we're fine. Double checking, making sure the token didn't die there somehow. The opponent's assigning blocking order currently, and they have the Team or Battle Rage. Well played, opponent. We dead. We so dead. You went to 1 and then we died. Alright, so unfortunately they're the Jund version. If they were the Grixis version, I'd be slamming this warship. Cindervines. I actually don't know what we want against them. I think our main board's not too terrible. This is another matchup where Quasali Pride Mage is not stellar. I think Knight of Autumn's fine. It's just another threat. Let's try that. Who would like to play first? We're going to keep this one. So we're going to lead on Hierarch on 1. X-Drinker Rest in Peace on 2. That's pretty ambitious, assuming that we don't get Thoughtseized, but I mean, this is the plan we have with the information we have currently. So the plan after this, I'll be right back. Let's do it. So if I fetch Basic Forest here, I hate life because I have Basic Mountain and I cannot cast this Lightning Helix. So I have to fetch Shock on 1. Like I said before, this deck's a little painful, but I think it's worth it. The mana base is mostly fine. These basics are painful though. More painful than the Shock lands. At the same time, I don't know what you could replace them with, because if you play fast lands, Cat's really bad. Alright, let's see what the opponent grabbed with their Once Upon a Time. It was a Death Shadow. Darn, we hoped it was a Goose. Charmer Goose. See if this is a push. This is a Thoughtseize. Probably Thoughtseize or Inquisition. Interchangeable against our current hand. They both do take literally every card in it. What you got, Wu-Tang? Looks like they decided to go with the Inquisition. I would imagine they take Hexdrinker here. They do take the Rest in Peace. They must have Goyf in hand. See what we draw. You know, if I could have picked a draw step, it probably would have been that one, to be honest. So let's Hexdrinker here. And the 1 point of damage I don't feel is as important as trying to get a few levels on this guy. If I can get him up to 4+, they can't Fatal Push or Abrupt Decay anymore. And if I can get it up to all the way up to 8, which is a little rough, I will be able to literally block Death Shadows, Goyfs, whatever, or get in for lethal. Darn, Parent Thoughtseize is our Bloodbraid. Yep. This just Thoughtseize pass. Bummer. Alright, so unfortunately, based on our draw, we're going to play this one. We're going to put a level into this. And they're going to kill it in response. Yep. Then we're going to pass the turn. So they are at the point where they can now cast Death Shadow. And they know about this Lightning Helix. We are going to fetch the Thin. I don't like making Death Shadow a 4/4. But I think that's the line here. So hit them to 9, us back up to 20. And we'll fetch the Thin at the end step. Hopefully it's something awesome like another Bloodbraid. It's currently Bloodbraid. Ooh. Ooh, Traverse. That's going to be more Death Shadows. That's not great. Alright, so this is going to be the last turn that Bloodbraid can attack in past this Death Shadow with impunity. Sorry. Alright, so end step fetch. Stomping Ground, no. Draw a step, Bloodbraid. Bolt. I mean, I am going to get in there for one. Opponent likely will not block. Opponent wildly chooses to block. I'm counting Street Wraith, but let's see. Nope, no Street Wraith. Okay. They did have the Street Wraith. Tireless Tracker. Is that what they went? Oh my god, that is what they traversed for. Alright. This has been pretty reasonable draws for us. Let's go ahead and cast this Bloodbraid Elf. See what we get out of it. Something good. Show us something good like a Path to Exile. I mean, that allows us to try and get in this turn. That's not bad. If they don't block this, they're dead to bolts. If they do block this, we killed their Tireless Tracker. Yeah, I'm pretty okay with that trade. See what the opponent does from here. Well, that's not what we wanted to see, that's for sure. That's not terrible, but not great either. Cat means if they attack us with this Death Shadow, we get to attack back for 4 and kill them with a bolt. Add a push. Pretty good draw for them. We just take 6 here. Currently, we can draw into a Bloodbraid that can cascade into a bolt to kill our opponent. I have no idea what the opponent just cast. K command. Sure. Picking back up a Death Shadow, I'm sure. So now it has to be Bloodbraid because it has to be Bloodbraid to block plus a bolt. Let's see. Well, they have to attack with both, and then we get to chump one. We make sure that this thing doesn't die to a fatal push off the top, which is kind of nice. And we pass the turn. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about the fact they have two 7/7s. We do have to just... Alright, they cycle the Peatland. We have to chump block one of them. It looks like they're looking for Team or Battle Rage just to kill us this turn, which is reasonable considering that's how they killed us the first game. Potentially I could get this Death Shadow up to 12 power as well. That'd be pretty cool. Alright. I can dig it. Well played, opponent. Well played. 12 power Death Shadow. Alright, falling 2-2 against Death Shadow. Losing the matchup I thought we'd be really the underdog in, and winning the matchup I thought we'd be favored in. I think that shows an understanding of this deck. Alright, so let's see. What are we hoping to pair against in the last round? Soul Sisters. I don't think Soul Sisters is it. Let's see. What are we hoping to pair against? If I was to guess, we're hoping to pair against Merfolk. But I didn't even know that. Merfolk might win the Zoo matchups. I actually don't know. Zoo is not my traditional archetype. Normally I'm a ramp and big mana player. You know, those guys everyone loves to hate. Yet I don't like the Drazi. Who would like to play first? I think this one just can't be kept. If it had the second land, it would be fine. This one's fine. I'm going to go ahead and put back the Pride Maid. And keep the Bloodbraid just because it's a better top end. See if the opponent actually has a pregame effect or if they're just resolving their mulligan. Just resolving their mulligan. Alright. So we're going to shuffle Qasali Pride Mage right back into the... Let's see, we're going to lead on... I don't think we need double white, so it's going to be stomping around. Yep. X Drinker Pass. The legendary X Drinker. Alright, I'll return in just a moment. I need to let my girlfriend into the room. So we have no effects on their turn, so let me know what happens, guys. Oh my god, are we literally playing the mirror? Are we playing the mirror? Well, our opponent Once Upon a Time. And the Thought Not Seer. Ooh, is this Bantel Drazi? Alright, first things first, girlfriend got me a sweet tea. Definitely a sweetheart. So let's see what we draw into here. Voice. I kind of just don't want them Thought Nodding us next turn, so let's go ahead and cast Stomp. And bolt the bird, so to say. Alright, let's go ahead and shrink this down. It doesn't need to be massive. Thank you, I know it exists now. Matter of fact, I'm going to hide it under my head. Yeah. I want you guys to know that you can cast it as well. So we're hoping to draw 2 more lands. It can even be the next 2 lands. That's fine. Wonderful. Gold Peak Tea. This stream is not sponsored by Gold Peak Tea, but Gold Peak Tea, I'm happy to sponsor you if you're watching out there. And you, my viewers, if you're watching out there, hit that comment button. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button to support my content. Alright, let's see if they miss their next land drop. Oh, what's this? Snow. So it looks like it might actually be Bant Eldrazi. This is like a blast from the past for me. I haven't seen Bant Eldrazi in years. Ever since I stopped playing Scape Shift. Before I stopped playing Scape Shift. Is that the land they hit? Yeah, snow-covered plains. Oof. Punch draw looking like it might be a little bit awkward. I think we're going to try and get in there to see if they just have the path. And then post-combat, if they do have the path, they'll have to path in response to this Voice of Resurgence. Additionally, if they have Path to Exile, that's pretty good for us. We're currently missing on lands. Aren't tanking on whether they take 2. To be fair, we did make our opponent... Yes! Alright, we got pathed. Yes. Think about this for a moment. I think plains and forest are equal. Since we have double plains in the deck, we want plains. That sounds about right to me. Alright, and then let's cast this Voice of Resurgence. Green, white. Alright. So combat there, definitely the right call. Let's see if we get our thoughts tied in a knot this turn. Called it. That's why we bolted the other thing as well. So the opponent's probably taking the bolt here because it allows the Voice of Resurgence to trade for Thought Knot. But they might also take Bloodbraid because it's 2 spells. The card I'd be most shocked for them to take would be Voice of Resurgence. Alright, they took the 2 spells. They believe in us drawing a land even if we don't. Alright. Let's get in there for 2. Alright, sweet. We get to draw a card. We don't have to do this till post-combat, so yes. Let this happen. Second main. Play a mountain. Bolt this. And then we're going to see what we draw before we determine if we're casting Bonecrusher or Voice. Since we can double spell next turn, it's definitely Bonecrusher. Bonecrushers, ready? Bonecrushers entered the battlefield. Let's see, they probably have Smashers. Their hand looked like it was only lacking lands, not powerful spells. A little surprised, let's see. What's this? Ooh, Reshaper. Pretty good against our current hand. I kind of like how that shaped out, because now I can go Voice of Resurgence. See if they cast a spell in response. They don't. Now I can Helix this out of the way. Move aside, Mad Reshaper. Please do not reveal another blocker. Reveals a Path to Exile. Well, that's perfectly fine, because if they path us, we have Voice of Resurgence in play. That's why we sequence things that way, by the way, is because if they draw spells, now they can't cast them on their turn. Okay, so, back to us. Or back to them. Likely they're just going to path this Voice of Resurgence. It gives them kind of a lot of trouble. And then we'll go get our forest. It also puts him off Smasher this turn. So we're pretty happy with that. Yep. 1 forest, please. Oh no, they also have Thought Knot. That's not great. Well, they're going to take away our Pride Mage. Means only Bonecrusher's getting in next turn. Let's draw a card. We could draw Bloodbraid pre-combat. That's why I'm doing it now. Hierarch. Ooh, is Hierarch there actually a great draw? No. Well, kind of. Kind of, right? Because we're going to get in with Bonecrusher now, and now they're kind of incentivized to block because this is attacking for 5, not 4. It's still a trade. Oh, no. They're not going to block. They're going to go to 5. I'm pretty happy with that, assuming that they don't have All Is Dust plus Eldrazi Temple in it. For an Oko. Okay, Oko. What's Oko going to do? Turn Thought Knot into a 3/3 so I don't draw a card? Is that the synergy here with Oko? Alright, Oko creates a food token. So they effectively have gained 3 life. Draw. On creatures and lands. Alright, so we get in there with both at them. And the reason why is because if we put them to 1, which this currently does, then they cannot crack this fetch land. Because they have to block Bonecrusher. Okay. Or they can crack this fetch land, crack the food, block the elemental, and then just take 4. Sure. Okay, take 4, opponent. Alright. Fortunately, we drew a land. Almost any spell in our deck kills them, and we drew a land. So Zoko's gaining him 3 life currently. Per turn. Oko, why are you so broko? Oko so broko. Hopefully they just drew another land. I'm assuming this pause means that it's probably not another land. Maybe they're contemplating attacking. They definitely can't attack. And unfortunately, we can't just sit back and relax. Otherwise, this Oko will steal the game for them. Okay. Second Oko. That's fine. Oko quite broko. It's probably going to make the food into a 3/3 and or make second food. If it's make second food, yeah. Alright. Sure. They go to 4. So I think the attack here is just Bonecrusher. Oh god, 2 lands, seriously. Alright, it's okay. This Thought Knot Seer is going to draw us into something great. Unfortunately, Exalted doesn't matter. It already traded and they already had to block. Alright, draw a card. What would have been so good a little bit sooner. Alright, we're going to play the land because we're going to fetch another land out of our deck. But, yeah. Oko creating has gained 6 currently on the side of the field. This Oko's gained 3, 6, 9 life so far. And that's a blocker. Oko's so broke. I think since we can cast any number of bolts, we don't bolt this Noble Hierarch. Okay, see what we draw. Something great. That's kind of good because it negates them making a food every turn. So we're going to start this by getting in at them. Because they're forced to block here. Well, not forced, but they're likely block here. Because it puts down... Oh, they don't. Alright, puts them down to a multiple of 6. Sweet. And we're going to play this post-combat kitty cat. Interesting is if we had double bolt there, yeah, they would have just had to go to their untap. Because they just die otherwise. Once upon a time. That's pretty good. Let's see what... Once upon a time, there was a Drowner of Hope. A Drowner of Hope? I guess the good news is if they cast Drowner of Hope this turn, they can't crack a food as well. 2, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that is indeed true. And if they don't crack a food this turn, we have Bolts and Bloodbraids to draw to. And they are going for the Drowner. Yep. Drowner of Hope resolves. I feel all the hope leaving my body as it resolves. Alright, so the plan here is trading that for the 3. Unfortunately, I just realized that they can sacrifice the food using the Scion. So that's kind of unfortunate. I guess it has to be some sort of Bloodbraid combo. I actually don't know if we can even win the game anymore. We can answer Oko now, but I don't know if that's even good enough. Let's see here. Okay. I think there's no difference between doing it now and doing it on their upkeep, so I'm just going to go to their upkeep. Pass the turn to them. They go to crack this food? Yeah. Opponents played this incredibly well. So we're going to take 6 here. Bird's good. So we're going to single bolt them here and force them to crack one of these foods. Yep. Oh, they're just going to crack both foods? Alright. That seems fine. So now we're drawing live to just, Probably should have just killed the Oko. I was right when I said I just should have killed the Oko. Yeah. We can't win this game anymore. Alright. Yeah, I don't think this gets any better for us. Post board. Good news is they should kill us quickly. There's literally nothing in our board for them except this Worship. I guess Worship's pretty good, though. Worship is pretty good. We don't have any hexproof threats, unfortunately. Opponent's likely playing Astrolabe. I actually think I want these oofs over these mages. Yep. Alright, let's keep it. It's not super explosive, but it fetches a tapped on 1, Voice of Resurgences on 2. This is the kind of hand we're looking to do. Double Path is nice, especially if they have a Thought Knot. But I do predict the opponent winning this game. Not to be a negative Nancy or anything. That's just, unfortunately, where I see this going. Definitely should have bolted the Oko, though. We wouldn't have drawn another bolt. We would have just hit the basic land. And we're dead in 2 swings. But it left us the out of drawing the bolt there. So you should never focus on how your results actually panned out. You should try and maximize the number of draw steps you get towards actually winning the game as often as possible. So if the opponent plays a hierarchy, there's a chance I'm bolting it. Yeah. So fetch, shock, bolt off of a stomping ground because they need it to be able to produce the green, while the other land produces the white. Alright. So Voice of Resurgence times 2. Alright. Well, red does not cast a spell. We have a game plan. Whether it's good or not, we don't know. But it's definitely a game plan. I'm gonna hide from you for a second, everyone. Haha, I'm a ghost. Well, gotta land. I think we want it to be a plains, actually. Cat there was a great draw and makes me look so smart for grabbing a plains. Our hand was just so white. Definitely should have done those in the opposite order, by the way. I was so busy gloating how smart I was that I misplayed. That's Thought Knot. I thought not. Well, the good news is we have a path to exile for that. We got a path for that. I think we just actually go face with this Bonecrusher for 2. Path, obviously. And then, oh, they took Bonecrusher. Alright. Left us with double path. Spice. Triple path? Alright, so we have to path now in order just to get our damage, and we might draw something that we want to use. So we would like to draw a card. While not stellar, it's definitely a kitty cat we can put on the battlefield. So let's get in there for 5. Put our opponent to 13 and pass the turn. So we do have this other path to exile in case they have a Smoosher. If they have a Smoosher, though, we're currently racing it favorably, so we will not path the Smasher. We will just let it hit us. That's an Oko. Why are you so broke-o, Oko? What have you got as a follow-up? Create a food. That's fine. Path our kitty cat. That's not ideal, but we'll take it. So we currently cannot kill Oko, which I'm sure is what they were going for. Bolt. Voice. Alright, well. Go ahead and put a voice on the battlefield. Get Oko down as much as possible. We learned our lesson last game. We really have to just kill Oko. So, Oko goes down all the way to 1. Probably makes the food into a thing. Once upon a time. Alright. Once upon a time, there was a matter reshaper. Well, that guy's not very scary. It doesn't matter if it's uncounterable opponent. So Oko's dead. That's great. Opponent does not know we have double path, so that's great too. So if they want to gain 3, I think that's fine. They don't get to get a land here. So would you like to go get a land, or would you like to gain 3 life? Alright, opponent chooses to get a land. Our turn. Would you like to get a land, opponent? Sweet, we get to get Oko off the battlefield and hit them for 5. This is what I'm talking about. So let's get Oko off the battlefield. Guy's a pain. So, opponent down to 6. Go and play out this Hex Drinker and level it up twice. Oh. If I float 2, I have to still click on each time. Interesting. Alright, let's pass the turn. We have lethal on the board through most of our opponent's deck. I don't know what they could draw in this situation. They get 1 draw step at it, though. Once upon a time, there was a Thought-Knot Seer. I thought that wasn't... Didn't think that was enough. Well, drawing 3 Path to Exile is confirmed pretty good against the creature-based deck. Oof turns off food as well, so I guess I kind of talked myself into that one. Yeah. Oof turns off food. Alright, opponent's going to be on the play this game, which is not ideal for us, but I'm pretty happy that we even won that game, to be honest. Drawing that path there was so key. Well, 10 has multiple 4/3s. I'm going to keep this. Alright, our opponent's telling a story, and once upon a time they found a Noble Hierarch. Well, that's just ideal for them. Oh god, is this going to have to be... If this is Cavern, naming human, yeah, we're bolting this Hierarch. 110% we're bolting this Noble Hierarch. That puts us a turn behind, but I mean, there's a good chance that that is their only land, so let's go ahead and fetch. A Stomping Ground. We will take the damage, even though, once again, it's not excellent in this matchup, but we want to double Hierarch next turn. Just bolting that right now. Get that out of here. It's possible the rest of their hand is also just colorless, and they don't need anything else, but I'm on the read that that's their only land. I could be wrong, and I am. Looks like they have second Cavern. But what do they cast for 2 mana? Nothing. Nothing is what they cast for 2. Alright. We all know how this Once Upon a Time ends. Opponent's about to cast the Thought-Knot Seer, but I figure developing our mana here is a pretty good turn. So we barely felt that loss of tempo of having to bolt them on 1. Of course they have Temple into Thought-Knot. Alright. No salt on this stream. No salt on this stream. Path to Exiles are gone. Gone, yo. If I draw a red source, I can double Bonecrush this. I'm kind of down on that. That's actually better. Let's see if we draw anything excellent off of this first. So you get to have an untapped land, opponent. But we get to have Lightning Helix. I'm going to go ahead and shock this in and cast Bonecrusher. Just as a creature. And get in for 2 with the Hierarch. It's the same as stomping them, but it gets Bonecrusher down a turn earlier. Let's pass the turn. We are way behind in the damage race currently. Way behind. That being said, I feel like we can still turn this around. Ancient Stirrings. Uh-oh. That digs deep. Luckily, just found a snow-covered forest. It might just be snow-covered forest Smasher, which wouldn't be ideal. It sure is tapping fast like it's for a Smasher. That's Reality Smoosher. Double check my math, but I think if we hit a red source, we're racing the Smasher pretty effectively. We're swinging for 6 a turn. Ooh, that's pretty good too. White, green, voice. So I attack for 6. Yeah, I just want to cast this Bonecrusher. Cast the giant half. And we'll get in there for 6. And then we actually want to block with the Voice of Resurgence because it upgrades the creature. The token is much larger than the Voice of Resurgence is. And hit him to 12. See what the opponent does here. No Broco Oko, please, opponent. Is this another Smasher? Splasher. Yeah, that's fine. If they target our Bonecrusher, they take 2 damage. So that's pretty ideal. Displacer is very good against our Voice of Resurgence token, though. So if they attack, I'm probably... Let's see how this goes first. Looks like they're going to blink to make the attack not even relevant. So, or the block not even relevant. Yeah, it's a little crazy that they're blinking now. But okay. So we take 5. Go to 3. Alright, so we will die to like a Noble Hierarch if we just Helix and then attack all. Alright, I guess that's the line though, right? Is Helix? Oh, I guess we don't have to attack with these Nobles. That's pretty important. 4/4/2. And next turn we also have up this Bonecrusher Giant's ability. So we literally have them dead on board if they don't have second Smasher. Find out? No. Okay, that's not, I thought that was Horizon Canopy. Horizon Canopy would have been a redraw towards a Smasher. Thought not. We still kill pass because we have 3 attackers. They'll have 2 blockers. We kill through any number of blockers because we can just deal 2 damage. We even kill through Broco Oko, gaining them 3. Displacer's fine. Even if they can displace both my blockers, that doesn't kill us. And they can't. That's also fine. Once again, any number of blockers and we can still kill them. They cannot get in there with Smasher, and we're just gonna... I can't believe we're gonna finish this league 3-2. This is so awesome. Marin, if you're out there watching this, I am so excited with how this deck performed. I just want to say that. I did not expect it to do as well as it did. And let me tell you, you found some gold here. Bonecrusher finishing this league. Bonecrusher stomping our Eldrazi. Who's the Eldrazi now, opponent? Who's the Eldrazi now? Alright, that was pretty fun. So we finished 3-2 with Bonecrusher Zoo. Alex here with Lucksack Games, reminding you to subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, follow me on Twitch, leave a comment down below, and definitely hit that like button. It helps me out immensely on my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Alex here with Lucksack Games, telling you to have an awesome night.